I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that, and let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you can answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe that black voters should trust you with another 4 years.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
Give me
a definition then. Would you give me a definition of that? Give me a definition of that.
Sir, I'm asking you a question, a very direct question.
Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that, too, when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some Republicans have said?
I really don't know. I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length. And we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that.
Well, you told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion. Look, I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean, it is not...
Okay, so there he tries to kick it over to Harris Faulkner, the Fox News reporter, journalist, who he knows is going to spread his propaganda, ask him questions that are going to be easy. But that right there, the last words that he was talking about, saying that Kamala turned into a black woman. I mean, how ignorant, how petty, what a loser. I mean, yeah, he's weird, but he's also just incredibly stupid and racist. And you can tell that he knows that he almost shouldn't be saying what he's saying, the way he kind of slouches down into his chair like, oh, I mean, yeah, I said that. Reprehensible, disgusting. If you vote for this man, you are doing an incredible disservice to yourself, to the future of the country, to your neighbors, to your community, because that right there is not who we are as Americans. And one of the reasons why Kamala, and that's how you say her name, Donald Trump, Kamala, right? These Republicans love to Kamala. Now it's Kamala. One of the reasons why she has so much support is because she represents all of us. She represents the good in all of us. She represents the people who aren't like that, who aren't sick, racist, belligerent, delusional clowns. Time and time again, we see that Donald Trump says things that should totally disqualify him from the presidency. And here you go. Here you go. Here's another example of why Donald Trump is not fit to lead. Saying that the first black female presidential candidate turned black. Oof. Oof. It already wasn't good for Donald Trump in the black community. This is going to cement that. And you know what else? You know what else this does? This telegraphs his moves against Kamala during the debate. And so the Kamala team right now is their wheels are churning. They are getting ready to annihilate Donald Trump on the debate stage, because that's going to be his strategy, is to just try to turn it around and attack the person asking the questions, the moderator, Kamala, and they're going to be ready for it. But this was truly atrocious from Donald Trump, and it just cements the fact that he's an ignorant loser, and we're going to remind him of that come November.